I had read exciting-sounding things about the new restaurant Uma on Via Girolamo Benzoni, with its focus on grilling and fermentation in the dishes it serves, and decided I needed to try it out. The terse cryptic one-word menu item descriptions further piqued my curiosity. Jumping ahead of myself, I'll say that I ordered the 10 Passi, 10 steps, tasting menu, with 6 principal plates and 4 so-called accompaniments, plus drinks pairing. The servers, Thais and Jenny, were most welcoming, and took great pains to give me all the details of each plate and beverage. But as soon as I'd finished one plate, it was instantly whisked away to be immediately replaced by its successor. So even with my thumbs in turbo-typing mode, I still missed a lot of minutiae about ingredients, cooking methods, and procedures in my notes. My apologies in advance. The restaurant has a relaxing and beautiful decor, and I loved the color scheme for the menus. Yes, it pays to devote attention to such planning details. They're important. The first drink was a cocktail, Uma's version of an Americano, made with Sicilian vermouth and wild fennel, and another ingredient I missed, along with the standard Campari. A delightfully surprising liquid start to the meal. A few minutes afterwards arrived what I will call 3 amuse-bouches. On the left, a little tart with fried leek and testoon, the Piemontese sheep's milk cheese. In the center, what was called an airbag alla carbonara, with the guanciale and grated pecorino on top. And on the right, fried Jerusalem artichoke, with a mound of Jerusalem artichoke sauce draped with a mint leaf. A very auspicious start. As soon as I had savored these and the plates had vanished, the next drink arrived. A carrot granita, buried underneath a puree of acidulated lettuce, which supplied the green color, and an olive oil from Lazio made from 5 different types of olive. It came with firm instructions, shake and drink. Very refreshing, and far better than any smoothie I'm likely to concoct. A slice of semi-whole wheat bread with 24 hours of leavening time, made from Umbrian wheat, accompanied it. On to the first wine. From Lazio, an unfiltered Trebbiano Bianco called Ambra, from the Rinelli winery about 80 kilometers east of Rome. Then, on to the plate marked simply cauliflower on the menu. One of several dishes to be processed in a Korean fermentation machine called ogu. In the restaurant's basement, the cauliflower in the middle had been oxidized for 5 hours in this apparatus. 3 blades of raw cauliflower were propped against the core. All rested in a cauliflower cream, and there were cauliflower chips on the top. The oxidized cauliflower, called the magic center by the server, had the most amazing flavor. All in all, one of the most distinctive cauliflower dishes I've ever had. Beer was up next, a Belgian-style triple beer, but made at a microbrewery in Rome, with a relatively high alcohol content of 8%, flavored with coriander and bergamot. Yet another delightful surprise. This went with a dish devoted to potatoes in 4 different preparations. At the bottom, in the center, pureed potatoes flavored with lemon. Then there were potatoes marinated in koji, the mold used in making soy sauce. The broth was made from potatoes oxidized in the magic Korean machine in the basement. A garden of grated black truffle was the crown, and on a separate plate, a filigree potato chip on top of truffle-flavored mayonnaise. I thought I knew all the possible potato preparation flavors, but I was wrong. Here were some fascinatingly tasty new ones. From the very appropriate beer back to wine. A Cerasuolo d'Abruzzo Rosé, meaning a Montepulciano Rosato, from Barone di Valforte, just up the coast from Pescara in Abruzzo. For the next dish, a risotto, there were even more advanced explications. I was also told there was a secret ingredient, but that it wasn't the rice. So, what you can see is roast pumpkin, marinated in the magic Korean thingamagain, then grilled. There was a pumpkin sauce, and there were pumpkin seeds. When I had finished, and my face expressed contented delight, one of the servers slyly asked me if I had been able to identify the secret ingredient, knowing this was highly unlikely. I admitted my failure. The rice, I then learned, had been cooked in water derived from koji milk, the fermented liquid used in making soy sauce. No way I would have guessed that. Another rosé to continue. This time Il Rogito, from Cantine del Notaio, in northern Basilicata, an Aglianico with notes of cherry, raspberry, and pomegranate in the finish, according to their website. This accompanied another primo, this time a kind of half-bell-shaped open pasta. Principal ingredient here, onion. Specifically, caramelized onions inside, plus fermented onions, yes, the Korean magic machine again, and onion broth. Equally delicious, yet despite the onions, a more subtle flavor than I might have expected. For what I will call the secondo, in any case the next plate, we moved westwards, to Sardinia for a 100% canonau called Nascimento, from the Podere della Guardia, about 25 kilometers north of Alghero. Chickpeas and bacala were the protagonists. In the center, a huge slab of bacala. I was told that the collagen of the bacala was also used, although I can't quite remember how or where. The bacala was an island in a sea of chickpea cream. You can't miss the blonde and black chickpeas dotting its outer shore, and there were chickpea chips on top under the herbs. Wow! If you are by any chance reticent about bacala, then you haven't tried it in a preparation like this one. Before the dessert, I was invited downstairs to the inner sanctum basement by Matteo Taccini, one of the co-chefs and co-owners, along with the absent Luigi Senese. Here I was shown the fermentation laboratory and the magic Korean fermentation machine. I did not film or photograph. The details of how quickly this machine did in hours what otherwise would take months registered, but I quickly forgot them. Once again, my apologies. The pre-dessert, or first dessert, isn't particularly photogenic, but that chromatic blandness belies its remarkable taste. Solo birra, said the waiter, just beer. A beer granita, with kombucha made from beer poured over it. This was intended to be a palate cleanser. As with the carrot granita with lettuce at the beginning of the meal, I was to shake and drink. A natural passito from Umbria, made from equal parts Grechetto and Moscato Giallo grapes by Jacopo Paolucci just outside Todi, was brought for the dessert. That being persimmon, a fruit I rarely get, grilled and put through the Korean you-know-what. Not visible here because it was buried under some sort of treated ricotta, which itself was covered with ricotta foam, and then a winter landscape of ricotta snow. All delicious, of course, and I was too distracted eating to remember to film the fruit underneath the snowscape. Post-desserts too, obviously. Again starting from the left, whipped cream and burnt cream, a carrot caramel with carrot honey and carrot leaves, and finally a lemon sgroppino in a solid form, with a liquid center. I don't remember how that was achieved, although I'm sure they told me. Even if I felt some stress trying to keep notation apace with the verbal details, I found this a memorable evening. What a remarkable dinner, with such well-thought-out original treatments of each plate's main theme ingredient.